Hello everyone, this is another stock analysis of mine, this time covering Ocugen stock. Please take into consideration to do your own due diligence and take everything with a grain of salt. As I can be wrong, as everyone can be wrong, so don't take anything for granted. So I want to start right away with a short introduction. I'm covering Ocugen stock today, which is the underlying company is a pharmaceutical company that is mainly focusing on developing drugs, basically targeting to cure diseases of the eye. In particular, the overarching goal will be to address a majority of the market of progressive blindness diseases. For example, you might heard of retinitis pigmentosa or geographic atrophy or Stargardt disease, to tell some of them. These particular diseases are the ones that Ocugen is mainly targeting and on trying to find a drug or develop a drug. So in my opinion, this stock is extremely undervalued, given the fact that the market does not understand the relevance of these drugs. In general, you can differentiate between drugs that are kind of added errors out of your body. These kind of gene therapies are called or associated with gene editing. I could name like Beam Therapeutics, CRISPR Therapeutics, among others. Prime Medicine experiencing some kind of a hype at the moment, but I think this is really a promising long-term story, so I don't think that it's wrong to keep an eye on. But in general, I think Ocugen is kind of under the radar, because people are thinking, well, they don't have the technology, they don't have the editing, but the underlying issue is that for these particular diseases of the eye, there's not one mutation fixing solution. So you could say it's kind of multi-genetic. These diseases have a multi-genetic origin. So you could say patient 1 has mutation in gene A, patient B in mutation of the gene Y, another one a mutation in a gene Z. So there's a variety of possible origins, and therefore you can't really target the underlying disease by just editing a particular mutation out of the body. So what you most likely going to do is you try to find a solution that's gene agnostic. So you kind of try to ignore the genetic origin and really try to find an overall solution that really helps to address the phenotype, or try to cover really the phenotypic changes that occur throughout the course of the disease. So how is Ocugen doing this? I want to highlight this maybe by introducing their leading candidate, which is for retinitis pigmentosa. So in particular, what they are doing is they're not editing something, which is an obsolete approach in this regard. So what they are doing is they try to kind of do tiny incisions into the tissue of your eye, the retina, and they try to insert kind of transiently a linear construct that has or includes a transcription factor with huge potency to regulate disease-causing gene expression. So by inserting one particular construct, you have huge downstream, in genetics we're calling it downstream effects on a variety of other genes. So you can, for example, upregulate them or downregulate them, whatever. And in this particular case, you're upregulating other genes that are most likely affected in the development of the disease, and by that you can kind of improve the neuronal health. So the entire tissue becomes kind of a health boost, and the tissue has positive effects afterwards. So how can this basically turn out in terms of phenotype? For retinitis pigmentosa, you gotta understand it's a progressive form. As I already told you, all of these product candidates are addressing progressive diseases for blindness. And in this particular case, it's like the peripheral view is kind of getting reduced, or it starts with a blurred view and with a increasing kind of blindness, but just from a peripheral view origin, and this can basically turn to complete blindness by the age of 40. So it's really a lifelong progression, starting from teeny age and developing up to the age of 40, 50, till there's zero view left. And think of it, a patient in this situation feels this unmet need to get a drug, to rush to get treated as soon as possible, and therefore think of the implementation of a possible drug in this sector. People will definitely try to get it. It's not like cancer where people have a decision A, decision B, whatever, and I feel like in this particular case, when it's really about quality of life, you can improve, significantly improve, by stopping this progression, or even Ocugen has already provided some evidence that they managed to reverse in some cases the course of disease. So this can really significantly improve the quality of life. So people will, due to the progressive character of the disease, they will rush to get treated, and this has immediate implementations. So upon approval, I'm expecting a huge surge in price. And yeah, guys, people are thinking, okay, well, all of this is right. There's a possible approval within the next year, starting with BLA submission still within this year, and further study results within early or by early 2026. So, but people think, okay, what does it help? It's an orphan drug designation. It has an orphan drugs designation, which means, okay, it's for really rare indications. But due to the gene agnostic character of this drug, you can't really say it's just a tiny population. Ocugen would be really able to cover the entire market of retinitis pigmentosa, and this includes 260,000 plus patients within EU and US alone. So we're speaking of huge impact of a very expensive orphan drug. They usually end up costing like 200 to 800,000 US dollars. So calculate that through. This approval might have really huge output for the company and for future studies as well, because once this drug is finally approved, their financial position will be improved as well. So think of this significance. And I want to highlight that the risk of not getting approved is quite low. Why do I say so? We know from the past that drugs in this particular field are kind of introduced or approved way more easily than in other sectors. The reason being is just that there is no treatment option yet, and people are really longing for a drug that can solve their issues. And with this aspect in mind, given this aspect, FDA has usually a hard time to not approve it in the end. So in my opinion, we're looking at quite low risk but high reward stock, and people don't see it. It's under the radar for a variety of reasons. Ocugen is planning to get 3 drugs approved within the next 3 years to come, starting with retinitis pigmentosa within the next year. In 2027, Stargardt disease, also orphan drug designation, so it will be also quite likely that they can approve this. And by the year of 2028, geographic atrophy, and in this particular case we're really looking at a million market, where millions of people suffering under these conditions of the disease, and there is no really efficient medication on the market yet. All of them have severe side effects, and if you look at Ocugen, they could not really find any severe side effects yet for all of their treatments. All of them have kind of a similar approach from a method and scientific point of view. So I feel like people are missing out big if they are not looking at this stock. This stock can turn out to a monster return stock. So this is as far as I want to cover from a scientific point of view. Really look at it. I have a scientific background as a PhD student in molecular biology, so I can really speak from experience. I'm invested really bigly in this stock. So next up, I want to conclude kind of this presentation by really giving a kind of a glimpse into my chart technical analysis point of view, and what I think to which kind of returns we're looking at in the 3 years to come, because I think these 3 years will have kind of monstrous return potential. So starting from kind of earlier of 2021, you know, when Fed came out with this huge kind of liquidation boost and kind of this huge money supply in the market. I want to say stocks all over the place started rallying, and we can see that back in the days we managed from an Elliott wave perspective to cover a proper wave 1 year up until 1st of February 2021 approximately. So after that we've seen a B, C correction going on, and basically now we're in a fractal of the overarching wave 3, which is covered in red here. So I'm expecting that we're kind of in a sub-fractal of the fractal of the wave 3 at the moment, and that we're kind of close to an imminent surge in price. You see the diagonal trend line that I have kind of indicated here and highlighted here. So I think upon breaking this trend line, we might see a kind of exponential boost for the stock for the years to come. Look at the scale. I'm looking at the logarithmic scale. So the stock will really provide you with some great returns, in my opinion. You could also look at the stock at another perspective. So by only focusing on the Elliott wave count, I mean, it's a very efficient tool, but also try to get familiar with the standard technical analysis stuff. So you could see that in November of 2019, back in the days, we basically have broken or broke down to the lower point of the trend line. We managed to consolidate there, and upon that process kind of we back in the day set the kind of the explosive surge in price that led to these high gains earlier that decade, and subsequently we've seen kind of consolidation and then this huge crash down to the trend line once again. We've broken that trend line, went up, have reached the diagonal target line, went down, and now we are kind of seeing a strong consolidation here, and price is set to explode, in my opinion, from here onwards. If you remember my Archer analysis, I think we're looking at a very similar stock. It has also similarities to Palantir stock. If you look at the character of the ABC correction, it has really similar vibe going on. It also has this explosive kind of vertical wave 1, which is typical for these high return stocks. And yeah, in my opinion, we are now in this fractal of wave 3, and if we look into the detail here, you really see that markets have managed to capture back this 0.618 retraction level of Fibonacci, and this means similar like back in the days Archer stock. This is a matter of concern for the bears, and you could really once again say a matter of joy for the bulls, and we might see the prices to explode in the years to come. I wish you the very best. Of course, all of this is just meant to be for financial education, no financial advice, of course. Do your own mistakes. Everyone is prone to mistakes. We are human beings, so guys, it's just a mixture out of technicals and scientific background I wanted to provide you, because I feel like I have an edge to it. Thanks for listening. Have a great time trading, and see you